Fraser's career-defining moment, part 2. Mat Fraser, the 2016 fittest man on earth. Mat Fraser, 2017 fittest man on earth. Mat Fraser, the 2018 fittest man on earth. Mat Fraser, the 2019 fittest man on earth. Mat Fraser is the 2020 fittest man on earth. It's undeniable that Mat Fraser is the greatest CrossFit athlete of all time, surpassing the great Rich Froning's 4 straight titles, winning the 2020 CrossFit Games by 545 points. But this video isn't about that. Today, we're going to cover the creation of a monster. Today, we're going to talk about how Mat Fraser came from nowhere to claim his very first CrossFit Games title and start his warpath as the greatest CrossFit athlete of our generation. But what unleashed the beast? What was that single turning point in Mat's untouchable career? First, we must understand what makes Mat, well, Mat. To be an elite athlete, successful at any particular sport, the general code goes as followed. Genetic potential. A hand of cards your parents dished out. Environment, which creates characteristics such as personality, mindset, morals, goals, and your definition of success. Opportunity. What opportunities you were exposed to. For example, access to facilities, coaches, and experts in a particular field.
In terms of trying to figure out whether something you're interested in is a worthwhile pursuit, I think another way to think about that is, do you have the right skill set? Do you have a talent base for that? Are you good at it? Then from there, if you think of like a Venn diagram with overlapping circles, the next one is there an opportunity? And the third one is it something that you're truly passionate about, that you love? So talent, opportunity, and passion.
If you don't believe me, look at the Chinese weightlifting team. Born and bred into weightlifting, they pick the most genetically gifted children and give them the best environment and opportunity to succeed in weightlifting, and only the bold survive. And there's no doubt that there's many awesome people out there who don't have phenomenal genetics or had any opportunities to succeed. These people succeeded on their own without the help of those genetics, without the help of having the greatest environment, or even having any opportunity whatsoever, because they had the will to succeed. When we look at Mat Fraser as an athlete, it was almost like he was molded by the gods themselves. He had all the genetic potential. Both of his parents were at the top of their respective sports for figure skating, representing Canada at the '76 Winter Olympics, giving Mat a great foundation. Having the best environment, with having parents at the highest level of their sports, installs things like good habits, mindset, and mentality. And Mat himself commented many times saying that the work ethic of both of his parents greatly motivated and shaped him into the way he is. And all the opportunity in the world. Mat Fraser competed as a professional weightlifter for the US Olympic weightlifting team prior to initiating CrossFit, giving him a great base of flexibility and strength. Now, an accumulation of these 3 factors combined with Mat Fraser's hatred for coming second molded him into the absolute beast we know and love today. But it was his 2015 to 2016 campaign that I want to focus on more in part 2. After the 2014 CrossFit Games, Mat Fraser in his rookie appearance at the CrossFit Games took second to the retiring 2014 champion Rich Froning. Mat was the favourite coming into the 2015 CrossFit Games, and he started off his year well, winning the Open and having a strong performance by going head-to-head with Rich Froning. He also began to work with Ben Bergeron, owner of CompTrain, one of the most successful CrossFit programs at the time, supporting other top athletes such as Katrin David's daughter, Brooke Wells, and Cole Sager. Matt did come out guns blazing, not only winning the Open Workout 15.5, but he also won the 2015 Open itself. He continued his rampage of CrossFit events at the 2015 East Regional and improved critics' and fans' thoughts of him, winning 2 events and not finishing outside the top 5 all weekend. So naturally, as the 2015 CrossFit Games came around, Mat Fraser was sitting on top with a commanding lead. No one was expecting anything less than a first place podium finish. As day 1 of the 2015 CrossFit Games kicked off, Matt, as expected, took a commanding lead. With second place finishes in the 2015 sandbag event, Murph, and heavy DT, as well as a third place finish in the snatch speed ladder, Matt's quest for the title, Fittest on Earth, looked almost guaranteed. Overall, at the 2015 CrossFit Games, Mat Fraser had a first place finish in the triangle couplet, 4 second place finishes, and that third place finish. 6 out of 13 possible events, he was in the top 3, which in any other case would mean he was pretty much guaranteed a first place finish. With Matt's inconsistencies throughout the weekend, 24th in the Sprint Course 1, 37th in the Sprint Course 2, 32nd in the Soccer Chipper. These inconsistencies, with Ben Smith's consistent performance, had Mat Fraser trailing the CrossFit veteran Ben Smith by 8 points coming into the final 2-part event. He needed to outperform Ben Smith in the Pedal to the Metal Part 1 and 2. Pedal to the Metal Part 1 was a 6-minute cap of 3 pegboards, 24 calorie row, 16 calorie bike, and 8 dumbbell squat snatches at 100 pounds. Matt started off strong with a second place finish to Ben Smith's 4th place finish, giving him the overall lead by 2 points going into that final event. All he needed to do was stay ahead of Ben Smith. All he needed to do to close out his final event at the 2015 CrossFit Games and to take his title as the fittest on earth was give one more effort for that weekend, and Matt would also take home the $300,000. Part 2 would be Mat Fraser's demise. Part 2 was a 7-minute cap, 12 parallel handstand push-ups, 24 calorie row, 16 calorie bike, and 8 double kettlebell deadlifts at 203 pounds. As the final event kicked off at the 2015 CrossFit Games, we saw Mat Fraser's weakness come out, the parallel handstand push-up. 12 repetitions to us these days is not really that impressive. It almost seems like child's play. However, in 2015, this was a relatively new concept at the time. 12 of these harder handstand push-ups. The parallel handstand push-up was Mat Fraser's Achilles heel, his weak spot. It was the single most important reason why Mat Fraser lost the 2015 CrossFit Games title to Ben Smith. And for a second year straight, he would wear the second place medal. This right here was the single most important moment in Mat Fraser's career. It was the turning point to what has created one of the sport's most phenomenal, dominant, staple performances and success stories. Matt realized that he couldn't just coast through CrossFit anymore. Eating a tub of ice cream and half a dozen donuts a night, he needed to set his priorities straight and put everything he has into winning the games. This is also the guy who broke his back and underwent surgery in 2009. This is the guy who took Rookie of the Year and a top podium spot against some of the sport's greatest athletes. If we can take anything from Mat Fraser's story, it is that hard work pays off. The 2016 CrossFit Open wasn't Mat Fraser's peaking performance, taking 7th overall against his 2019 rival, Noah Olsen, who dominated the Open that year, because he was waiting for something better. Continuing to peak, Matt hit 2016 East Regionals hard. 5 first place finishes, 1 second place finish, and his worst finish of the weekend, a 6th place. Unknowing to Mat Fraser at the time, he was competing alongside one of his toughest competitors, Patrick Vellner. The 2016 CrossFit Games opened at the Ranch with an event that will test Mat Fraser's fitness as we know it, the Ranch Run. A 7-kilometer trail run over a dodgy, very steep track. This was going to prove tough and difficult for Mat Fraser to win. Based on his previous strengths, Mat Fraser was known as the weightlifting guy. But Matt proved us that he was versatile, taking his first event win of the weekend in the trail run. But what was truly awesome that this would be the only win of the 2016 CrossFit Games for Mat Fraser. His consistency over the course of the next 12 events proved to us that he no longer had a wheelhouse, that he was no longer that weightlifting guy, and that he would be a force to be reckoned with in the Madison Arena. Ending the 2016 CrossFit Games as the 2015 Games should have ended with a 197-point lead over second place Ben Smith. The 2015 CrossFit Games Event 12 was, in my opinion, the moment that unleashed the beast. If Matt were to win the 2015 CrossFit Games, there would be a good chance that he would not have backed it up the following year. His bad habits, his mindset would be totally different, which is why I believe that this moment was career defining. Comment down below on what you believe Mat Fraser's career defining moment was. And as we close into the final part of this series, like the video, subscribe, and check out my website, absolutebeast.org, for the latest videos, Instagrams, programs, and more. And as always, you guys stay a beast.